What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Beyond the Claim, Unfiltered Insurance and Adjuster Talk. I'm your host, Conticia, and today we're talking about money, and it's not your paycheck. We are talking about your insurance premiums. Now, if you live or work in North Carolina, you already know what I'm talking about, that there has a rate increase has taken place in North Carolina for homeowners. As of June 1st, homeowners in North Carolina are seeing their premiums go up by 7.5%. That's not the end either. They're getting hit again with another 7.5% hike in June of 2026. Now, if you're thinking that's not so bad, just wait till I tell you what the insurance companies really ask for. We're going to get into that episode. But first, I want to bring something critical to your attention. Child sex trafficking. Child sex trafficking is a growing crisis. In 2024, approximately 40%. This crime affects communities nationwide. If you see something suspicious, say something. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text Be Free to 233-733. For more information, visit missingkids.org or humantraffickinghotline.org. That is something that's near and dear to my heart. I go beyond the womb. You know, there's people that protest while the child is in the womb, but then they stop once the child is born. I'm here to go beyond the womb because I do know that our children, they are truly our future. So we definitely want to protect them. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get back to this episode. Back in January 2024, North Carolina Rate Bureau came through bold. I mean, they were really bold the way they tried North Carolina. They filed a proposal asking for a statewide average increase of 42.2% on homeowners policies. And in some areas, they really tried to push it. They tried to hike that rate up 99.4%. Yes, almost double. Can you believe that? Now, this is where it gets crucial and critical to me. This is why you need to make sure that you are voting for the right people that have your best interests in mind. Because when they're going through asking for these rate hikes, they have to get permission from the elected insurance commissioner. And it's going to depend if that insurance commissioner are in their pocket or are they actually working for you. Now, before you pass out, I want you to know that your state insurance commissioner, Mike Causey, he stepped in and said, absolutely not. He said, I fought for my consumers. He said he fought because they asked for 42.2% on some homeowners for statewide. And then for some areas, they wanted 99.4% increase. That was almost going to be double. But then he stepped in and he said, no. We're going to just negotiate this. So starting June 1st, your insurance premiums, that's why it's going to be very critical that you check your insurance premiums to see how much your insurance rate has increased. And if you need to start shopping around. Because those insurance premiums increased, they went into effect June 1st, 7.5% increase, right? Then there's going to be another 7.5% increase June 2026. And it was also came with a maximum of 35% in any territory. And no more rate filings until June 2027. This is why I do tell you consumers that we have power. And you're going to have to take a look at your policy, take a look at your premium, look at your renewal, make sure that your policy still covers wind. Because there are some renewals that are coming in that are no longer covering wind. And if you're not looking at that renewal and your agent is not being honest with you, you won't be covered for wind. So if you're in those coastal areas or in those areas where you have those tornadoes, you won't be covered for that wind damage. So you want to make sure that your renewal do include the wind. All right. And also go over your policy with your agent. That's going to be key. You want to make sure that if your rate's going to increase, you don't want to get less on your policy. You want you want to get more. All right. Now, according to Causey, he said the deal is going to save North Carolina homeowners around $777 million in the coming years compared to what the insurers originally asked for. So yeah, the 7.5% may sting, but it could have been worse according to him. Now, this is why, again, I want you to understand when you're going to the voting booth, and even when you have those little small elections in your area, those elections matter, because those are the people who you are putting up to represent you, to represent your interests, and who will fight for you. To me, in our current climate, political climate, we see all these things that are going on. Some people say they voted for it, and some people say they didn't. But this is why it's important, because your vote actually really matters. Now, why are your premiums going up? It's easy. Just think about what is taking place, especially in North Carolina. Simple, they had back-to-back natural disasters. Let me remind you, what hit North Carolina in 2024 alone? They had Tropical Storm Helene. This one was supposed to be downgraded, but it dropped up to 30 inches of rain, caused landslides in the west, historic flooding, and killed over 100 people. The same storm spawned an EF3 tornado, and you know what damage that did. And just weeks later, Hurricane Debbie made landfall in Florida, but her remnants tore through North Carolina, triggering 10 tornadoes, including another EF3. So these two storms alone accounted for half of the EF3's tornadoes in that state for 2024. Both were tied to tropical storm systems. So pretty much the hurricane came in through Florida, but the remnants, the tropical storms, did much damage. So this is why I'm telling you all, you're going to have to know what your policy is going to cover. And you're going to want to make sure that you are insured, because at this point, we don't know if FEMA is going to come in. I saw a news article today regarding FEMA. And I think it was Senator Josh Hawley. He was stating that for his constituents, he understood that FEMA was approved, but they're slow to let the FEMA people do their job. They're not getting any orders to offer the assistance. They're looking for individual assistance. They're looking for public assistance. It's not coming in. Even though the approval has been given, they have not seen anyone from FEMA to come in and help them. And he accused them, they said it was a leaked audio that came in accusing the administration of trying to withhold the FEMA funds or the FEMA help. So this is why you have to make sure that you're going to stay covered on your end. Because at the end of the day, you would want someone to fight with. I know I would. I'm going to have some type of insurance. If we're going to fight about it, we're going to fight about it. But you're going to pay something to get my home back together. And when you look at what has happened and you think about this, massive claim payouts for these insurance companies. They've had massive claim payouts. Property loss on level they didn't expect, especially in North Carolina, because you're just thinking a tropical storm is coming through. No, that tropical storm came through with tornadoes and flooding and landslides, okay? Rising reinsurance costs, the backup insurance carriers use. I'm telling you, so just like gas prices and groceries, they're passing the costs to the homeowners. And I understand that we all pay our premium, and sometimes we look and say, well, this is what I got insurance for. And a lot of times, we're looking at our premiums. Some of us are paying $2,000 a year, $1,500 a year. Some don't have those numbers anymore. It's around 9 and 10,000. But if your home is destroyed, that's a claim up in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to repair your home, to replace your home. So this is why I'm telling you guys, it's really critical for you to have some type of insurance, someone to fight with, to make sure that your home is staying insured and that you have some backup. Because I'm telling you, we don't know if FEMA is going to really actually be around for that. Now, I just want to give you some tips of what I feel that homeowners should do at this point. We are in hurricane season. It has started. We got our first tropical storm or depression that's out there that they're looking that it's going to be a hurricane soon. So it's ramping up. So to me, this is what homeowners should do. Review your policy and your coverage limits. Make sure that you have enough coverage to rebuild your home. Okay, check for new exclusions and increase deductibles. Because I'm going to tell you something, I'm an independent adjuster. One of the things I always hear from policyholders, I didn't know my deductible was that high. Why is my deductible that high? And I have to send them back to their agent, because that's your agent responsibility to make you aware of what your deductible is. You should always know what your deductible is. And most of the time when those policies, you're going to have a hurricane deductible, maybe a water claim deductible, so these deductibles can change according to the storm that come through. You want to know what your deductible is if it's a hurricane, tornado, or if it's just a regular home claim. Those deductibles do change. You also want to ask your agent for discounts. If you have a security system, what if you upgraded your roof? Because you can get a roof upgraded. You can get some discounts on that premium for upgrading your roof. All right. Also, shop around. Even though maybe you've already renewed, remember, staying with the insurance company saying I've been with you for 10 years, 15 years. No, don't be foolish like that. Because I've always learned you're supposed to shop around every year for your homeowners insurance and also for your auto insurance as well. All right, every year. And that's exactly what I did. I had everything with Allstate. Allstate sent up my truck insurance so high, I had to leave them. Now, I kept my homeowner policy with them, but I left them for auto. I'm not going to be trying to be loyal, and they're going to raise those rates if they want to. And I haven't had one accident, no tickets, no. So I went ahead and shopped around and got my rate up under what I had before they increased it. This is why it's going to be imperative that you don't worry about being loyalty as if, my grandma was with them, and you know how USAA commercial is. My grandma, my granddad, we passed it. You better look at those savings. You may have to pass USAA this time and go somewhere else for some savings and come back when USAA got their mind right? So just think about that, of what you can do. Now, I do want talk to adjusters right quick. I want you to know that companies are starting to bring us back in, especially independent adjusters. I haven't adjusted independently since last year, and I'm back on an assignment, which I didn't think it was going to come around, but it came back around, and I'm back on an assignment. I want you to know, as an adjuster, what we're going to be looking at. What's going to happen in this current season, right? With higher premiums mean higher expectations from policyholders. They're going to say, wait a minute, my premium going up and you can't cover this, and you can't give me the best customer service. You better know they're going to be expecting the impossible. So you get ready, but customer service is going to be number one. And I'm gonna let you all know what happened with my Allstate claim. I've been adjusted for years, right? But I've never had a claim. I just had a claim, and I'm going to tell you how it started off. I believe Allstate has upped their game with my homeowners claims so far. All right. Documentation standards will be tightened. Prepare for more reviews and disputes. We already know those disputes are going to come from the contractor, the public adjuster, the agent. And I don't blame the consumer to use every resource they have. I'm a consumer, and I know I would too. But as an adjuster, I know that now I need to be prepared for this. And also, you want to make sure get or update your North Carolina licenses and flood certifications, because truthfully, when we're looking at the biggest cost of hurricanes and things like that that's coming through, it's usually flood. Usually flood is coming around those coastal areas, and what happens? Your homeowner's insurance does not cover flood. But do you know who hold the flood policies? FEMA. So if FEMA goes away, who will then write the flood policies? I'm going to talk about that on another episode, because that's another thing that we have to look at as consumers, but also as adjusters, to understand majority of these claims turn out to be flood. And we got to know how to adjust these and let them know that they don't have coverage unless they have a different endorsement, which most of them don't, because regular insurance don't really cover flood unless they have a separate flood policy that they got from FEMA. All right. Also, what you're going to watch for increased cat deployments, in North Carolina in 2025 and beyond. Because I'm telling you, rates are increasing everywhere, adjusters. We got to be ready. And I think this is going to be a very, very busy storm season, not just for claims adjusters, but I believe that FEMA department got something on their hands, because these people are going to need them more and more and more. More of this flooding is coming in, and FEMA is responsible for the flooding. These rates increase is part of a national trend. It's just not Carolina. I did an episode about California. Same thing. They want these rates to increase. And it's just going to get worse because more and more storms are going to come in, So you better understand that they're just going to keep going up, and that's why don't worry about loyalty, how long you've been with the company. You're going to make sure that you get the best rate, the right coverage. Know your deductible. You're going to know that deductible, because you're going to be paying for this homeowners insurance, because they're going to keep increasing rates because they need to get their money back. If insurance carriers cannot make a profit, they will no longer be around. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now that's it for me. Until next time, stay covered, stay educated, and keep it beyond the claim.